Hi. In Chapter 10, we saw two different cases of uncontrolled, unwanted laughter that was actually diagnostic for the cause of death in both cases. Both patients had brain bleeds of an unknown origin that were not found until after death. These kinds of cases are so incredibly rare that there just isn't much data about them, just the coroner's reports. Another kind of unwanted form of laughter comes from something called a Gelastic seizure, and those are typically the most common cause of a Gelastic seizure is from something called a hypothalamic hamartoma. I don't remember how to say that. And those are basically, a hamartoma is just a little abnormal growth of tissue that is like the other tissue in the area. So it would be a little bit of abnormal, just a lump of some sort on the hypothalamus. The less common form of Gelastic seizure is from the origins of the temporal or frontal lobe, and those temporal and frontal lobe seizures are seen commonly also in Rett syndrome. Rett syndrome is a neurological disorder that interferes with normal development in females. About 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 23,000, depending on which country you're in, of girls have Rett syndrome. Rett syndrome is a developmental disorder, as I said, that what happens is you have a year or so of normal development. You don't know anything's going on. The child seems completely normal, and then they start losing skills. Like, they've already learned how to say a few words, and then they start losing those words. They can't use them anymore. So basically, I'll read the official text on this stuff here. Rett is a neurological disorder that is defined by a period of normal development in infancy that is followed with a period of stagnation and then regression and loss of expressive language and purposeful hand use. About half of Rett patients develop seizures as a comorbid diagnosis. Some of the other symptoms of Rett include poor circulation, abnormal heart rhythms, hypotonia, breathing problems including apneic episodes, and the list goes on and on. There's digestive issues and all kinds of things. It goes on and on. Now, in my daughter's case, she does have Rett, and she has the seizures comorbid. And she's been shown on repeated EEGs to have left temporal lobe spikes. And they don't know that those are the origins of her seizures, but that's the only place where she had anything unusual, so they think that's what that is. They weren't anything significant. She wasn't having a seizure at the time, so we don't know. Okay, anyway, back to see, I think that the Rett syndrome the Gelastic seizures are actually seen quite commonly with the Rett syndrome. The parents observe it all the time. It's not something we've been able to capture. They happen kind of fast and unexpected. You're not prepared with a camera. It's like trying to catch a regular seizure even. It's not easy to do. But the Gelastic ones in particular, you're not ready for it. So it's hard to catch them on camera, so there's not much documentation on it. But they are seen and observed with the Rett family. We ask about these all the time. The Rett community, we ask each other, is this normal? Especially the new parents. Like, is that normal? Anyway, so I have a theory, more of a kind of just something to ponder regarding that. Did I already go over the cause of the Gelastic seizures being the hypothalamic hamartomas? I think I did. Okay, sorry if I goofed that up. But I have an idea that maybe some of the Rett Gelastic seizures might be due to the possible formation of some moderate hamartomas on the hypothalamus. Given that there's what we know about the hypothalamus, right? Remember, body regulation, and that a lot of the symptoms of Rett include these body regulation problems, things like the poor circulation, the which is not, there's no physiological cause for it. They examine the blood veins and all that, and they're fine. There just doesn't seem to be blood gets sent to the limbs sometimes. Not much. But the breathing problems, that they don't know what the origins of those are. The girls are just, they have these breath holding episodes and they don't know why. The abnormal heart rhythms, there's long QT syndrome and all kinds of things. In any case, I just think that it's possible that maybe the combination of the hypothalamus hamartomas is a possibility for these Gelastic seizures, because what else could it be interfering with on the hypothalamus regulation? We'd have no way of knowing. They're pretty much undetected. Anyway, I'm very nervous about doing this video. The other thing that Rett syndrome has shown in studies is that they have a significant reduction in the overall number of microglia. And since we know that microglia are like the garbage men of the brain, they go and pick up all the garbage and they get rid of all the waste and stuff. The reduction in those numbers may lead to builds-up of waste and or brain plaques, as seen in Alzheimer's, and which is one of those things that when they found out that the girls have fewer microglia by they maybe have a quarter to a third of the actual normal number, so a significant reduction. It was really not surprising to a lot of us that they found that these plaques and that microglia are a problem for Alzheimer's, because a lot of us from the times our little girls were very young said this is like Alzheimer's for little girls, because they forget and they're in there, but they just get lost. So anyway, as to the Gelastic seizures, they're scary because you can tell in their eyes that they know that they are out of control, that they are laughing, but their eyes, you can tell that they're scared by it. So they're pretty scary. So I tried to find a video of it. Couldn't find any. Like I said, they're really hard to catch. So that's the basics on that.